Awesome.
Okay, we're recording. Here we are. Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Good?
Good, how are you?
Good. How'd our week go? Did we get some invites out?
It's going.
Katie, that didn't look promising. Leslie, how's your group going?
It's really quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I've had many of those myself.
Have you?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I normally get like one chattery group, maybe like one every 3 or 4 months that like they're extremely, involved.
Yeah.
A lot of the times though, it's normally just 1 or 2 people that'll like a post and a lot of times it's not even comment. But that's why I like the app because like they're logging their workouts and they make a little comment with their workout, so at least I'm seeing that.
Yeah, maybe I should try that next.
Yeah. I definitely recommend the app because then you can see that they're doing their workouts too.
Right. But on the app, you can still like freeform post. Like I add stuff to my group that's not really Beachbody related. It's more about.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Right.
you can put anything you want.
Okay.
I do because I share a lot of my personal development stuff that I learn, which is fun. I do my personal development in the morning, and I'll find something in there, and I'm like, ooh, so I flag it, and then when I go to post in my group, I share it in my group.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's why I like doing the personal development in the morning because it really helps me to share with the group.
Yeah. Well, the thing is too, like I have to admit, like as much as Leslie, like with I call them the canned posts, which come in really handy if you can't think of something. So with the app, like they do have like all the programs and the posts that they have in the back office so that you can utilize them. So sometimes I might utilize a picture, but not necessarily the post. So it's kind of nice to have if you can't think of something, but at the same point, yeah, you could totally put whatever you want in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's nice. Sorry, like Heidi and I talked about, it just takes away from the scroll moments of Facebook. You know what I mean?
Using the app.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Leslie, what happens is they go to get on Facebook to check into the group, but then scroll moments come, and then they're a friend of mine posted a picture of their cat doing something funny, and then they never end up actually in the group, or if they did get in the group, they got a ding on their Facebook notification, and they quickly left the group before they even posted something. So using the app keeps them just away from those moments. I mean, they're still going to have those moments, but at least if they're in the app, it's not quite as squirrely.
No, but I'm happy to hear that it's somewhat normal to, that it's quiet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's totally normal. I get it a lot.
Do you
do like call to action post?
I do, and I started the week off with bingo.
Yeah.
Well, my version of it.
Mm-hmm.
I got one nice friend who's keeping up with me, so she's winning the prize. But I don't know. I mean, it's a tiny group, It's only 3 people in my group.
Right.
And 2 of them are close friends of mine.
Yeah.
It's kind of pathetic, but anyway.
And they're not posting at all?
Not. I mean, they are. One person is.
Yeah.
My friend who was my maid of honor, I don't know what's happened to her. I haven't reached out to her, but she seemed like she was most active during prep week. Yeah. And then it really started and she was gone. So I don't know. Maybe some life happened to her or something.
Right. I would just do a quick check-in.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so this week we're going to actually go over objections and how we handle them, because how many of us have got the objection and went, oh, okay, thanks, we'll talk to you later, bye. Bye. I know I have, probably 1,000 times. But what I've learned just over the last few months, Team Thrive, I was in the Business Builders group, and they went over some of Allie's objections and how she deals with them. And I can post that in the team page, and Jenny can share it with Katie as well in her team page. And then also I downloaded, I think I shared it in our team page already, but it was from a coach, not a Beachbody coach. He's an actual fitness coach, and he goes over the same objections because, believe it or not, no matter where you are in the world, the objections are always the same. Time, money, and fitness level, and I didn't know that was an objection, but time, money, and support group is normally like, oh, my family, I get to talk to my spouse or whatever the case may be. So these things really have given me a great, and I don't copy them word for word, but they've given me almost the confidence to when I get the objection now, I'm like, okay, I totally understand that. Allie's big thing is she likes to do the feel, felt, found. And that's how she reacts. Have you guys all seen that? Yeah. Okay, good. So that has actually worked for me. Not so much that I got a sale out of it, but I got a little bit more feedback and the conversation continued on. So it wasn't like a, no, I'm not interested, boom, conversation's over, I'll talk to you again 6 months from now or whatever. When I responded back with the, I know exactly how you feel, I myself have felt that way, and this is what I found, it opened up the conversation so that they understood that I wasn't there just for the sale. And they may not be ready this month, but they do understand that I am there for them, and I don't want just the sale. I want to help them. I wish they wanted the help as much as I want to help them. It would be so much easier. But do any of you guys have some objections that you have dealt with that you're like, oh, I just don't know how to respond to this? No? Is everybody on mute?
I was.
Like, wow, I don't even hear breathing.
Do you want it? This is recording.
This is like teaching a fitness class. Don't forget to breathe.
That's so funny. I'm trying to think because I feel like I've been out of it so much, obviously, as you know, just dealing with, the whole new mom thing. Yeah. But I think, it's like you said, it's always those same ones. It's the money or the time or whatever. It's, and this is kind of a side note, but I know I've totally been in that negative mind. So I need to get back on PD. Like you said, I need to figure out how to do something every single morning, like even the Darren Hardy, but that's a completely separate topic.
Yeah.
Because it's like you see these people, and again, trying to get out of that comparison mindset, which I think I talked to you about yesterday. But, you're like, how do these people, I was listening to the call, again, thanks to you, from Monday, yesterday, and the girl, her first month, she hit Success Club 16.
I know.
How do you do that when most folks are like, I just want to get 6 every month. I just want to help 3 people. No, I'm sorry. One of the things I learned when I worked with the chiropractor is to get rid of the word just. I don't just want to help. I want to help at least.
Right.
Every single month.
Yep.
But learning to teach them the value of Shakeology. I had a conversation, which I think I told you, with somebody last week who, and this is kind of the interesting thing. She's joining a group with one of my other coaches that runs her own groups, and she helped me out in May since I wasn't going to be able to run one. And this girl reached out to Kate, and Kate let me know. And it ended up being this conversation about Shakeology that her nutritionist was poo-pooed Shakeology. And so she was so afraid to bring it to me, but because I asked her, I said, I want to know what she said.
Right.
Because I think, as much as it's not really an objection, in some ways it's a challenge, which, like you said, it's like an objection. Absolutely. Where you're like, no. Ooh, okay, I'm not even going to talk to you about it because you've talked to this other person.
Yeah.
You think I'm just somebody that's here for a sale, which I'm not. I really believe in this product, and here's why.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially as somebody that did it through pregnancy and while I'm nursing. Personally, I've learned that over the years, as much as most of us would stop at that. It's you know what? This is going to make me better as much as it's going to hurt to ask you this question and have to answer or have to combat it, if you will. Not even really, but give you the information that I have based on your objection in a way. Yeah. So I just found that to be Interesting.
Yeah, the nutritionist one actually, it surprises me because I have several nutritionist friends that I've spoken to, and they all back Shakeology. I mean, we actually have 2 of them right on our team that are nutritionists, and they back Shakeology.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, and I have a challenger who's a type 1 diabetic. She brought it to one doctor, wouldn't even look at it, and her nutritionist said, yeah, this looks really great. So right there, you're getting 2 different things.
Right. Yeah. But doctors are not nutritionists. I will.
Absolutely.
And that's what I tell everybody. Is like they went to school to learn how to cut you open and fix you. They did not go to school to find out what foods are best for your body, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
And of course, you know, a lot of doctors, like I was listening to a podcast the other day, and the guy was diagnosed with cancer and had half of his colon removed and was leaving from surgery, asked the doctor, is there foods that I shouldn't eat? And the doctor was like, nah, you're fine. He was like, what? So, you know, the doctor is very good in what he does, but he has no nutritional background. So, but yeah, especially, so nutritionists would be an objection, really, because if someone comes to you and says, oh, you know, I checked with a nutritionist and they said no, then you can always say, well, I always value a professional's opinion. You know, what was it exactly that they did not like about Shakeology?
Right.
You know, because I want to know, like, what did they find that they didn't agree with?
Exactly. And that was what we talked about. And so I could say to her, you know, kind of like, I've heard that before, and this is, you know.
Yeah. Very strange that the doctor wouldn't even look at it because it's low glycemic.
And that's actually one of the things that she said. I was not creeping, but I saw it. Somebody posted on Danielle's page asking. I know that was totally not the right word. Katie's laughing at me. Somebody had asked about a type 1 diabetic, and I'm like, oh, I have one, and these are the things I've learned. And so I asked her. I said, what can you tell me, you know, about why you decided like Shakeology was good for you? And she's still on it several months later.
Yeah.
And you know, she definitely feels the benefit of it. So it was nice to get her feedback to give to somebody else who's got somebody that's quite, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that's like, but to be able to have her as a resource.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that she said was talk about the glycemic index.
And there's also a ton of information as far as Shakeology goes on, first of all, the Shakeology podcast. I don't know if you guys listen to that.
And I actually sent
Shakeology. Yeah, that's got a good one. But just Shakeology.com as well has a lot of information that you can share with people that, you know, if they have an objection. Because I actually had someone, I think, that, can you guys hear me? I didn't hit my mute button, right? Sometimes I hit it on my headset and I'm like, I have someone. I'm like, what? I had someone who tried to tell me that their doctor had said no on the Shakeology. So I said, oh, do you mind sharing with me exactly what it was that the doctor had said? And she was like, oh, well, I don't know. He just looked at it and didn't think it was a good idea. And I'm pretty sure it was them bullshitting me. You know, that was just their way of saying that they were not going to buy Shakeology. Yeah, my doctor said no.
Because doctors would be all end all.
Yeah, I'm like,
that's a whole other discussion.
I'm like, okay, so why? You know, and then when she said, oh, I don't remember, I'm like, oh, well, you may want to just double check with them, and you know, and I have some information that, you know, where 100 doctors have, you know, looked over Shakeology. So sometimes they give us objections that are kind of bullshit objections. So
dig deeper.
Dig deeper, and don't be afraid to just ask more questions. You know, if they get annoyed with you, guess what? They're not going to respond back. Oh well, they'll check in with you later on, maybe not. But one of the wordings that one of the coaches that I had talked about, that wasn't a Beachbody coach, but he's an actual fitness coach, was with the finances. His first response with someone who said, you know, oh, it's expensive. He said his very first thing back to them is to say, thank you for being so honest, because it takes a lot of courage to admit that. So thank you. Being scared to spend money on our health is something that many clients I've dealt with in the past. So to make sure, to reassure them that, you know, we know that it's not easy to spend money. And I, thank them for being honest with you that that's exactly what it is, because they're not giving you crappy excuses. This is what they feel. They feel like, I don't have the money. And some people, that feels realistic to them. However, we have ways to help them. We can say to them, for me, for example, I have a money management friend who can help you, show you a few ways that you can budget money over this month, so that next month you can invest in your health. And I can send her a message, and she'd love to talk with you for 20, 25 minutes and give you some ideas. So if we can give them different ways to help them save money. And even if you don't have a money management friend, if you look online and Google, money management saving tips, you can find 1,000 things on the internet. So you could even say to them, I have a few ways that can help you save money if you truly, over the next few weeks, if you truly want to invest in your health next month, we can come up with ways to save that. Here, let me ask you a few questions. I ask, how often do you go out to eat during the week? How often do you get coffee at a local coffee shop? Are there things in your groceries that you could possibly remove, chips or other processed foods, so that you can replace it with the whole foods in Shakeology? So don't be afraid to ask them. You are literally, you're a health and fitness coach. That's what you're doing. You gotta, to be able to help them, you gotta get to the bottom line of where is it that they're, they think they don't have the money, but that could be because they're spending, $20 a week in Dunkin' Donuts, and they're going out to eat twice a week, and they're buying lunch at work 3 times a week instead of bringing lunch to work with them. And so there's definitely ways that you can help them save money. So that's one of the ways that I like to share the financial objection. Any questions on that?
No, but so funny story on that. My aunt that is like a discount coach, she had posted a picture of her box of Shakeology. Yeah. I was searching for this because I have her hidden. But anyway, so I went and I saw the post with the box of Shakeology, and like she's finally back on track, whatever. And somebody's like, "Oh, you must be rich." And what I loved was her response was, no, but she's like, but if you think about what you actually spend on vitamins and this and that, because that's what I said to her, because at Christmas, she had been a discount coach and whatever, and she signed back on because she's like, I need to find something like Shakeology that's not as expensive. I'm like, yeah, I know that I sell it, you're not going to find it because XYZ. And the thing is, she would be a great testimonial because of the things that it's helped her with. Do you know what I mean? So I was stoked that I was like, dude, Now I gotta get her to like sell, but anyway. Yeah. But it is. It's like people just.
But she had a great reply. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Good for her.
That made me think of like with your questions, like what do you spend on vitamins and mineral and whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that is, I do add that in there as well. Do you buy multivitamins? Do you,
Right.
And I had someone who asked me, they were doing a shake. It was Ideal Lean or Ideal Shape or something like that. And they're like, oh, I love you. I trust your opinion. Can you look at this shake and tell me how it relates to Shakeology? Well, didn't take me very long at all when I looked at the ingredients list to realize that it was a crappy shake because it had maltodextrin in it, it had dextrose in it, it had sucralose in it, and it had canola oil in it. And I was like, what? I replied back, I'm like, well, there's a few things in there that I would never consume, and I'm not quite sure why a shake would need oil. Is that their digestive aid? Yeah, this will detoxify your system because it's going to just go right through, slide right through. I was like, so she ended up buying a 21-day fix challenge pack with Shakeology.
Nice.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. Like sometimes people think what they have is just as good as what Shakeology is. And then when you point out the certain things, and I try not to I don't respond back going, oh, this is the shittiest thing I've ever seen. I'm honest with them. I look at it and I point out the ingredients that are in it that I'm like, well, I know that it shows that it's low in sugar, but that's because it has several of these artificial sweeteners in it. And
right.
I just try to point it back to how Shakeology does not have those kinds of things. So that's, okay. So that's money. What else do we have?
Time.
Hi, Jen. So time is another one. What kind of responses have you guys had to time?
Usually they don't have time to work out because they've got X, Y, Z, A, B, C, blah, blah, blah.
Yes, very busy life. PTA, full-time job, kids in the sports, surgeon, and all of these things that make us all super busy. Busy is the hard one because everybody, they put value in their life depending on how busy they are. If I say I'm super busy, I'm super valuable.
Right.
And we need to get back to, we don't need to be so busy to be valuable. And this is one of the things that I really share in my groups is slowing down life, because when we are so busy, like we're running our kids, and when we have our kids in all of the sports and we're busy, and we're running, and we're in PTA and we're in this and we're in that, and we're so involved, we tend to miss out on other things that are important, like family dinner, sitting down to play a family game, those kinds of things. But I mean, those are things I share in my group. But as far as when someone gives me time as an excuse with working out, I literally just tell them, you know what, start with 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be an hour workout. We have a lot of workouts that are less than half an hour, and you can do 5 minutes of that workout. You don't have to do the entire 22 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever the case may be. But you got to start somewhere, because if you don't make the time, you'll never have the time. So that's pretty much how I go about time. Like it's one of those things that you have to make it. You have to make the time.
You have to want it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, like you're saying, 30 minutes. I'm sure people sit down and watch show after show after show.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Take one of your shows and work out.
Yeah.
Or get up a half hour early.
Yeah.
Work out, then take your shower and go about your business in the morning. Most people wait at night, and then they're too tired and they just want to go to bed. Well, get up half hour earlier and do it then, and then go on with your day, and it's done. But like you're saying, you don't have to do the whole thing. Do some.
Yep. Yeah, or they hit, level 465 on Candy Crush or whatever, but
right.
Right? Yeah. But so with time, though, this is another thing that I will say to somebody. You know what? Over the next week, document your time. Find out how long it actually takes you to get yourself ready in the morning. Find out how long you actually, when you sit down at night, how long you watch TV. How long are you spending reading the news in the morning, which does not benefit your life at all. There is no reason why anybody needs to sit down and read or watch 30 minutes of the news. Like, how is that going to help your day? How is that going to help you reach any of your goals, whether it's financial, physical, faith, whatever the case may be? Watching today's news is not helping anybody. You're better off watching porn, because you could at least
It's being recorded. And the next comment is like some big word for like, what is this video about?
But true, I mean, you learned stuff at least watching that. So yeah, time, you pretty much gotta make time. But again, have them journal it and find out how much time they're especially with Facebook. Find out how much time they're wasting. So have them document it, have them send it to you and say, let's see if we can, and obviously don't sound like you're bossy. Hey, why don't you write down everything you do and send it to me, and I'll tell you where you can fix it. But just say, if you write down your schedule and really document your time, maybe there's some way we can adjust it that you can get 5, 10, 15 minutes in. Not only that, but I'd let them know, like, it's really important for your own mental health to do something for yourself, whether it's a 5-minute walk or you are just like getting on Facebook and reading the news and those kinds of things. They don't mentally help you. They certainly are not going to, you're not going to walk away from Facebook or the news going, oh, you know what? I feel amazing. But you will if you walk away from a workout like that. You either feel amazing or you feel completely exhausted because you've burnt yourself out. But anyway, any questions on time? Other ways to word time?
I just tell my people they need to make time.
Right?
Seriously, I mean, how bad you want it.
Yep. Because, for example, Jen is a crazy busy woman. She's got 2 kids that are both in sports. She's a teacher, so she has, especially right now, the end of the school year, trying to wrap up all the grades, get all the reporting in, all of that stuff. And yet Jen still exercises every day. So it's not impossible to do. And she has what is your commute, 25 minutes?
Yeah, it's about 25 minutes to a half hour, depending on how many lights.
Right. So, I mean, she's working all day as a teacher. She's got stuff she's got to do.
It's usually like getting up at 4:30 to get it done.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's important enough to do it.
Priority is a big thing, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's another good, word to throw out there. Or I really am really working on goals with people. You know what I mean? Like, how much do you want this? Which is why it's so important to tie what they want to the appropriate workout too.
Right.
I didn't think I had anybody for country heat, and I was talking to somebody the other day. I was like, I think this would be perfect because you're looking for something that's fun.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think this would be totally up your alley.
Yep. I did the size workout the other day, and I forgot how much I love that program.
Mm-hmm.
My gosh, it's so fun.
It's funny. That's actually a really good example of time because those workouts, the shortest one I think is 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I did that near the end of my pregnancy. And even I'm staring at the clock. I don't love to work out. I do not love to work out. I'm staring at the clock going, holy crap, this is going to be 40 minutes. But that workout flies by.
Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yep. I agree. Corbin and I were saying the same thing. We were like, oh my goodness, there's only 4 minutes left.
Right.
I mean, we were dripping in sweat. And I don't know if you saw our video, but we rocked it. Just saying, we were ready to be backup dancers.
I gotta watch
it. So yeah, time, make it, because it's, priority. Just be very careful on your wording. You want to make sure that anything you say to people, it's heartfelt. You don't want to be being bossy. You don't want to sound like you're overbearing. When you say to somebody, is your health the priority? You got to be very careful on how you word it because obviously everybody wants their health to be priority, but sometimes, we let other things and we feel like if we, but I take care of my mom and my dad and my sisters and my brothers and my uncles and my monkey and all these other things that are much more important than me. For some reason we think that again brings us more value. Well, if you can't take care of yourself, eventually you're not going to be able to take care of anybody. So, and again, use those words, but use them very carefully and reread your stuff before you send it because sometimes you reread it and you're like, ooh, that I sound like an asshole. Change that a little bit. If any of you have received messages from me, you may have seen that. Like, oh, she's being a jerk. So also one of the important things we want to do when we talk to people is just remind them of why they have started this conversation with you. You know what I mean? Remind them of their goals. Remind them, whether they said they wanted to get in a wedding dress or they're going on vacation or their overall health or they wanted to lower their blood pressure. Just remind them gently of why it is that you're having the conversation. Matter of fact, I just had someone who told me, I've been talking to her all month about 21 Day Fix since beginning of May. And she was going to do the June group, She didn't do the June group. She sent me a message. Her mother-in-law's in the hospital with pneumonia. That's what she's been dealing with. But her and her daughter really want to do the 21-day fix. But she doesn't want to buy, it's a big investment to buy 2 programs. And I'm like, oh, no. You don't have to buy 2 programs. You just buy the one, and you guys, because you live together. So she's like, oh, okay, yep, that sounds good. I said, all right, first step, why don't you at least sign up for the free membership so that you have the account when you're ready, invest in that one thing, and then we can put you in the July group. And she was like, oh, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. She has not signed up for the free membership yet, but I have her in my streak to follow up with her next week so that she has her program for the July group. So her objection originally was that she didn't want to buy 2 packages. So I let her know that that was not the case. But I reached out to her just last week and said, I know, things are going on with your mother-in-law. I wanted to remind you because I didn't want to drop the ball on my end, because I know where you have goals. So I just wanted to remind you that, I have the July group coming up. So, and that's a good way to do a follow-up as well, is to make sure you put it in like your court. Like, I didn't want to drop the ball. I know you and I had a discussion. I wanted to make sure I followed up and did my part. That way they're like, okay, they are paying attention and that kind of thing. How are you guys tracking your follow-up stuff? Pen and paper, Streak, Asana. Are you guys using anything like that to do follow-ups?
Usually when I was using it, I need to get back to it, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
I really am interested in Streak, though, a little bit.
What do you do, Katie?
Asana.
Yep. How do you like that?
It's not bad. I can use it on my phone. I can use it on my computer. They were talking about, was it Streak at the last?
Yep.
And I was curious about that, but I'm like, I don't want to like input all my junk again. So
right.
It's lengthy. It's time consuming to physically type out everybody's name. And
yep. I like Streak. I tried Asana, but it wasn't one. It just didn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was too much for me. Streak is a little bit more simplified. So
you use Streak and Team Z?
Team Z, yep.
Together?
Yeah, well, because Streak, I have all of my email templates in there, and it's connected to my Gmail. So I can, I mark them to the certain groups. So all the emails, like say I send you emails, I can mark it so that it all goes under your box. So when I go to Leslie's box, I can see all of the emails that I've sent to you.
Nice.
The last time I talked to you, the things that we've talked about.
So they're very different from each other, like...
yeah, I think so. I think Team Z has the potential of getting there, but right now, like, you can't send emails from Team Z. It's very basic templates in Team Z. What I like about it is that it gives me, because I'm anal this way, I like getting my 100% every day. And it tells me who I have to reach out to. I don't have to think about it. With Streak, I still have to be the one to go, okay, I got to reach out. Okay, I got to find someone new to reach out to, where everybody is already in Team Z, and it tells me who to reach out to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think eventually Team Z can be as good as Streak, but it's not for me right now. So I use both.
I'd be interested to peek into your Streak sometime if you could do a little.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something.
Yeah, I've talked to Jenny a few times about doing a Streak training, and so.
Yeah, have to come down and hang out with the baby.
That's good too.
Everybody, we're going to Jenny's to see the baby.
Yeah, right. So you did make me think, because one of the other things you mentioned was support. So that makes me curious, do you have something in particular that you use with people who have, say, their husband or their mom or whoever it is that's in their life, like they want to make these healthy changes, but they don't have that support system? I know that that's part of what we do, but especially where most of what we do is virtual, or online, you know what I mean? Do you have something that you use for that? Like, for example, if someone was to say to me their husband doesn't like to eat healthy? Is that sure. Yeah. I mean, I lived with somebody once that we ate completely differently, or I had somebody at one point that I was trying, she really seemed gung-ho about the 21-day fix, and she's like, I don't think my husband could bear for me to spend more money on one more thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a matter of maybe I wasn't asking the right questions because I was like, 21-day fix for everybody.
Right.
I mean, it really is, but
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I get so excited and verbal vomited all over her.
Yeah.
That it came down to, like, even the $60 if you just get the program, like, forget Shakeology if that's your issue.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? And that's going to be hard. You've tried all these things, and so now you have this person that's like, that's not going to work either.
Mm.
So you would mention it at the beginning, so that just made me think, if you ever...
Well, we only have 4 minutes left before this call is over, but I will just really quick go into how I handle if someone says to me, I have to check with my husband or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or my family doesn't like to eat healthy and it's going to be very hard for me to make 15 different meals. I tell them, especially with the 21-day fix, first of all, I'm pretty blunt this way. If you're the cook, cook dinner, and they either choose to eat or they choose not to eat.
Right.
You know, as long as you're not making crazy stuff like, steamed okra with, baby lamb or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if you're making a healthy meal that has veggies and a protein source in it, I recommend that the family, tries it. And if it's really difficult and they just don't think it's going to happen, I will say to them, 21-day fix, no food is off limits as long as it fits in the container. Mm-hmm. So maybe what you need to focus on right now is your portion sizes, and then kind of change some of the things that you are in control of, your breakfast, your lunch, those kinds of things. But when it comes to dinner, use the containers and just portion out the processed or crappy food that your family wants to eat. You know what I mean? That way, at least, because they're not eating every meal as a family. They're not eating breakfast as a family and lunch as a family and snacks as a family, because everybody has a life. Normally, it's just the dinner. So if you can control 80% of your other food, you're eating healthy, and you have to have that one meal with family and they're just not willing to bend, then portion is most important there. Any opinions on that? No?
That's great.
Jen, I love that you've been able to be with us this whole time.
I know. Finally. I'm taking notes.
We only have 2.5 minutes left. Anybody have any questions? Any topics you guys want to discuss next week? Other than Greek.
I get a lot of people that want quick fixes.
Oh, yeah. Tell them to call someone who does Thrive.
Yeah.
And then call me when you're done with that. Or it works. Do it works.
Yeah. Yeah, quick fixes is hard. All you can do with that is reiterate that, you didn't get where you are quickly. You're not going to be able to get away from where you're at quickly either.
And it's a life. It's a
not
lifestyle.
healthy.
It's not, right? I mean.
Yeah. So if someone was to say to me that they're looking for a quick fix, I would probably say to them, I would recommend 3-day refresh, because that'll at least kickstart their system. But if they're looking for something that they don't want to really even invest in, then I would tell them that it's probably not something that I can help them with, and just be okay with knowing that you can't help them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's it, my friends. We got to go. Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.